Bonjour tout le monde, welcome to Paris, welcome to Weekday Wanderings. My name is Jackie. I'm wearing a mask today because I'm inside and I'm in a most beautiful place. Just a little heads up, I'm still a little bit croaky. I've been sick for the last week and a bit, so I hope you can hear me. I hope all that's very clear. Anyway, let's see where I am. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, any guesses to where I am right now? Of course, if you've seen the invite, you know exactly where I am. But if you know exactly where I am, let me know. Okay, we have 3 people online, so welcome to everyone who's online. We are inside the Dôme des Invalides. Okay, one of the most striking features of the Parisian skyline. Of course, we're on the inside, so you're going to see a little bit different here. I'm going to flip my camera around and show you the classic indoor view of where we are. Okay, so if you're all familiar with that beautiful skyline view of the Dôme des Invalides, the great big golden dome, this is the inside of it, which is absolutely stunning. Okay, so this church was built in the 1670s. So it was under Louis XIV. Bonjour, Susan McGregor. Thank you for joining us. So this was called the Chapelle Royale. This was the church that the king built just for himself, because he didn't want to have to deal with all the rebel. And of course, it has been significantly changed in the years after that, because it has this enormous feature here. I wonder if we should show it to you now. Its most famous feature is this very, very large sarcophagus. Of course, this is the final resting place of the Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte I. So this enormous sarcophagus, bonjour Judy, welcome, is actually, it's like a Russian doll. And of course, yeah, you know, Napoleon was very fond of the Russians for various reasons. So it seems quite appropriate that his final resting place represent a Russian doll. So there are 4 sarcophagi, is that the plural of sarcophagus? So yeah, there's 4 coffins, one inside each other. Okay, so he actually died 200 years ago this year. So there's been a lot of commemorative events happening, and to commemorate the 200 years since his death. So that was obviously 1821, and of course he died on the island of Saint Helena, and his body was repatriated under King Louis Philippe, so back in 1840. So when that happened, this church was remodeled to create this amazing crypt, which is down here now. So this obviously wasn't originally here back in the 1600s, 1700s. So this is all new, but it's very beautiful. Okay, so I chose today because I have my kitties with me. So say hello, girls.
Hello.
Dis bonjour. And we never know what the weather's going to be like, and we always need to have somewhere relatively child-friendly when I have little children around us, so I thought this might be a nice place. I haven't been here in a really, really long time, so I thought it might be nice to come here. So it cost me €14 for a ticket, just for anyone who's wanting to come. People under 26 are free, so my children are free, and of course if you happen to be under the age of 26, which doesn't include me of course, then it's also free. Okay, and I got here by the bus, so our bus goes right past here, bus 92 from our place. This is the tomb of Joseph Napoleon, who is the eldest brother of Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so this beautiful church, you have the dome and it has chapels out each side, so 8 chapels. So this was the chapel of Saint Augustin, which houses the tomb of Joseph Napoleon. This is the chapel of Saint Therese, which has the tomb of Vauban. Okay, and here we are going towards the Chapelle Saint-Ambroise. This is a beautiful monument here. Is it? Chapel number 4. Okay, this is Maréchal Foch. So, of course, we're coming up to Memorial Day. So, we've got some poppies down here. Okay, again, the ceilings, the coupole, and here are just beautiful. Okay, so let's head this way. The girls have their little maps, so they're finding their way around. Sophie has one in French and Juliet has one in English, although Juliet can't read, so it's okay. She's looking at the pictures. Well, that's great. So this is the girl or the choir. Okay, and then there's an altar as well. So this is actually 2 churches. So we have this church, which I just love. I mean, I love churches anyway, but this one just blows me away. I just love it. Judy says, love hearing the daughters whispering. Love it in them. Thank you very much. No, they're pretty good girls, aren't they? Okay, so here is a plan relief, or a little model of where we actually are. So this is Les Invalides. So this is probably a good idea to, well, obviously we're here, so this is what it looks like on the outside. We're right in the middle of that, of course, under the dome. We entered in over here at the front, and of course you've got lots of gardens here. And so here are lots of museums as well. The Army Museum is here, which we will visit afterwards. But there's also, it's very important to remember that Les Invalides is actually it's an army hospital and maison de retraite, which is a retirement home for soldiers. So a veterans hospital and a retirement home, so which is still functioning. So a lot of these buildings here that I'm pointing at, they are medical facilities. Okay, so we will go back, actually we will go, but just so that you know, there are obviously a lot of other similar chapels and tombs of various other people. For example, Napoleon's little brother Jérôme, his tomb is just over here. I can pop over here, you might be able to see it. So Jérôme is actually the patriarch of the current Bonaparte line, which succeeds to this day. Oh, I should probably mention there is a horse, if you can see. A statue of it once, so the skeleton of a horse that's hanging over top of Napoleon's sarcophagus. So this, and I'm unsure whether this is the actual skeleton or whether it's just a model of the skeleton, but basically it's an art piece. This is the skeleton, or an effigy of Napoleon's favourite horse, which was named Marengo. And he's often in a lot of the paintings of Napoleon, he's riding Marengo. He was his favourite horse when Napoleon was captured at Waterloo. Marengo was taken and he died in England, and his body was kept in a museum at Whitehall for a very long time, and it was eventually returned to France. But there was a great military tradition of horsemen being buried with their horses. So this was, like I said, it's an art piece which was done specifically to commemorate that tradition. And there we go. So the horseman and the horse have been reunited, and that was just done this year for the 200th anniversary of Napoleon's death. So yes, over in that chapel on the other side there is Jérôme Napoleon's wife and himself. Okay, and like I said, he's the they are the matriarch of the current surviving line of the Bonaparte family, who were, they are still currently pretenders to the French throne, obviously the imperial throne. There's a really cool video, I might actually add it to my photos later, which discuss, you know, if the monarchy was to be replaced, or sorry, re-established here in France, who would actually be the monarch. And of course Prince Napoleon, who is a nice young man who lives here in Paris, he would be one of the contenders or pretenders. Okay, so this is another chapel. Okay, so this is a private chapel which you can't really go into. But what we're going to do here is look at this. Isn't this amazing? Wow, it's very difficult to show you the scale of what we're looking at here. But we've got these enormous big statues here. And what we're doing is we're heading down into the crypt. Look at that. It's very imperial, isn't it? I hope that we still get good reception, because obviously we're in the bowels at the moment. So we're heading into the crypt now. Excuse-moi, Sophie, s'il te plaît. Merci. Okay, so this is the Seal Napoleon Empereur des Français. So we're entering into the crypt of Napoleon. Okay, so bas relief. This is, I guess, the funeral of Napoleon on St. Helena. Okay, this is when they returned his body. Yeah, so I guess the second funeral. Yeah. So look at these statues here. Are they gorgeous? They're so beautiful and they're huge. Okay. Alright, let's head off this way. What is it, Sophie? It is, you're right. So Sophie is orienting herself based on her little map she has. It's really hard to get the scale. Are you all getting the scale of how enormous this thing is? And these statues, I've got some people over here. I'm not filming the people as such, I'm just trying to get the scale for you. Obviously the statues are enormous, and the sarcophagus in the middle is absolutely enormous. So I'm guessing a lot of people have already been here. If you haven't, I'm hoping you're enjoying it, because like I said, I haven't been here in a really long time, but I just love it. I just love the scale and immensity of it. Personally, I'm not a fan of Napoleon as such. He'll be rolling around in his grave there, hearing me say that. But, you know, he was a huge megalomaniac, wasn't he? I mean, look at this. Although he didn't build this for himself, this was actually done by Louis Philippe. Sally Davies, hi Sally Davies. She says, I don't remember it being so big. It's huge, right? It's enormous. But I mean, it does take somewhat of an ego to have something like this built for you. But saying that, Napoleon is responsible for so many things that we still do in, you know, everyday French life, like the Napoleonic Code, you know, the whole French administration system, which people love to hate. In some ways it's kind of annoying, but the fact that it still remains and it was all like based on his stuff, it's, you know, he obviously has a huge legacy, so maybe some of this ego is merited. The Tomb of Napoleon. Okay, so this is Napoleon II.
It's number 6 on my list.
Yes, on number 6 on your list. Very
6.
good. So this is Napoleon's son, who died very young. He was 21 years old when he died. Okay, so that was his son with his second wife. So Napoleon never had any direct heirs because of his son dying. So Napoleon III was actually his nephew, although it's, he was also his step-grandson. If that sounds a bit weird to you, it's because it is. So Napoleon's first wife, Josephine, I'm a big fan of Josephine. She had 2 children from her first marriage, and her daughter was married to Napoleon, one of Napoleon's brothers, and it was their son who became Napoleon III. And of course Napoleon III was responsible for the way Paris looks today, or the Napoleonic Haussmann refurbishment was all done under him. All of these parks we've been visiting over the last few weeks and months have all been down to him and all of the stuff he did to revitalise Paris. So I guess the Napoleons, the Bonapartes, have a lot to be proud of. So, beautiful building, very historic. Okay, what's down here? Oh, right, so this is where we started. Okay, back to the beginning. Alright, so where are we going from here? Let's go on the side again so you can see this. So for the rest of this morning, we're going to go to the rest of the Army Museum, the Musée de l'Armée. There's a Musée de la Libération, and there are 2 Musées de la Libération, and this is the one that's been here for a while, and of course the other one is in Delphi-Rochereau, that's the new one. But yeah, we will have a look around, and I'll post some photos of that. I might even do a couple of live videos if I see anything interesting that I might like to share. But other than that, I think we might leave it there, because yeah, I think you've seen the best of everything. It's like I said, it's beautiful, it's immense, the scale is kind of overwhelming, but it's just really wonderful, and I'm very pleased to have been able to show it to you. Well worth it, I think. So anyway, put the camera around, turn around so you can see it behind me. So thank you very much for joining me here at the Dôme des Invalides at Invalides, which of course is in the 7th Arrondissement. And I hope you enjoyed that. Check in later. I'll post some photos and everything that goes with this, and maybe some links with further information. And then other than that, we will see you next Friday. So thank you very much. Take care. Judy says merci mille fois, Jackie et les filles. Judy says merci. Okay, so say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dis au revoir tout le monde.
Au revoir tout le monde.
Au revoir tout le monde. Okay, merci, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye.